All right, let's just jump right into it. We've got some breaking news coming out of the tech world that could seriously change how everything gets built. So let me ask you, how long do you think it takes to build a major, top-tier mobile app? I mean, from scratch. A few months? Maybe a year? Well, whatever you're thinking, you're probably not even close.
28 days. Just let that sink in for a second. 28 days. That's the new record, the new benchmark for going from the very first line of code to a full-blown public launch. We're talking less than a single month.
So who's behind this incredible feat? You'd think it'd be some giant 100-person division, right? Wrong. It was a tiny, super lean team of just 4 engineers. That's it. 4 people, 4 weeks. It's kind of nuts. And this wasn't some quiet little launch for a niche app. No way. We're talking about the Sora for Android app. It went from a prototype to the #1 app on the entire Google Play Store on launch day. And get this, in the first 24 hours, users generated over 1 million videos. Just wow. Now, to really put this into perspective, an app of this size and quality, typically you're looking at months, sometimes even years of development. They did it in 28 days. And it wasn't some buggy, rushed-out-the-door mess either. It launched with a 99.9% crash-free rate. That is professional, enterprise-grade quality delivered at a speed that honestly was just unthinkable until right now. So, the big question is, how? How in the world did they pull this off? Well, the secret wasn't just some new tool they used. It was a completely radical new way of thinking about building software. They didn't just use AI, they basically hired it and made it part of the team. Yeah, this is the key right here. It was a total mindset shift. They treated their AI agent, which was an early version of a powerful AI coding assistant called Kodaks, not like a fancy autocomplete, but like a brand new senior engineer they just hired. A real collaborator, one that could take direction, write code, run tests, and refactor things, just like any other human on the team. But you can't just throw an AI into the mix and expect magic to happen. To make this work, they needed a very specific playbook, a really clear strategy for dividing up the work to play to the strengths of both the human engineers and their new AI teammate. And this is where it gets really interesting. They drew a clear line in the sand. The AI was an absolute beast when it came to execution. It could churn out massive amounts of code in parallel, it was weirdly enthusiastic about writing tests, which most engineers hate, and it could translate logic between different programming languages in a snap. But the humans, they focused on the stuff that only humans can really do. The big picture stuff, architectural judgment, the feel of the user experience, the long-term vision for the product, and setting the bar for quality. You could say the AI wrote the code, but the humans gave it a soul. Okay, so this led to a really powerful 4-step development loop that they just kept running. First, the human engineers would lay the foundation. They'd build the core architecture and basically show the AI, hey, this is how we do things around here. Then, the humans and the AI would plan out the work together, creating super detailed specs. Step 3, the AI was unleashed. It would just execute on that plan, writing huge amounts of code. And finally, and this is maybe the most crucial step, the humans reviewed every single thing the AI produced, making sure it was high quality and lined up with their overall vision. So what you start to see is that this kind of collaboration completely changes the job description for a software engineer. It's a seismic shift, really. They're not just coders anymore. And this quote really nails it. For decades, the thing that slowed down software development was how fast a person could physically type and solve problems. With an AI teammate like this, that bottleneck just vanished. The new speed limit wasn't writing the code anymore. It was how fast the humans could make decisions, give feedback, and integrate all the work the AI was pumping out. Which brings us to this fantastic new metaphor. The engineer's role went from being a soloist, someone playing their instrument as fast as they can, to being a conductor. At their peak, they were running multiple AI sessions at the same time. One AI would be working on the search feature, another on video playback, a third on handling errors. The human engineer was literally conducting an orchestra of AI agents, all working in parallel. So, let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the future of building? Well, anything. This 28-day sprint isn't just a cool one-off story. It's a huge signal about where things are headed and how everything we use is going to be made from now on. And of course, this immediately brings up the big existential question that's on everyone's mind. If the AI is writing most of the code, Are human engineers even needed anymore? Is this the end of the line for that career?
Well, the answer that came out of this experiment is a very clear and maybe a little surprising no. In fact, it's the opposite. This new way of working doesn't get rid of the need for engineering skill. It makes it more critical than ever before.
And here's why. The AI is amazing at executing a plan, but it can't create the plan. That's a human job. It's the human who knows how to design systems that can scale to millions of users, who has that deep, intuitive understanding of how all the pieces fit together, and who can envision what makes a product that people will actually love. This change frees engineers from the boring stuff, writing boilerplate code, figuring out how to center a button, and lets them focus on the highest level, most creative and strategic work imaginable. Look, the technology they use to build this app isn't some secret sauce locked away in a vault. This is the same class of tool that's becoming available to developers and businesses everywhere, right now. This whole project has just completely shattered our old ideas about what's possible and how fast we can move. So it really leaves us with one final and I think pretty exciting question. If a team of 4 can build a #1 app in just 28 days, what are you going to build with your own team of AI?